This video is sponsored by Levoit. So how dusty are parrots, especially African greys, and where is all of this dust and mess going?
Probably in your lungs.
Hi, I'm Carly, this is Kason, and this is Alyssa, and we're usually known as the crazy family who take their parrots free-flying outside all over Bedfordshire in the UK. We love to share a mix of family fun and flying adventures, and today we're discussing a topic close to my heart: parrot dust and air purifiers. So let's dive in.
So I knew how dusty and messy parrots were when I got them, and I expected the mess to be crazy. But even I am sometimes so completely shocked at how bad it is and how bad the dust and mess is, especially since I got Sammie. I think it's one of those things that people don't really think about before they get a parrot. They don't really know what they're getting themselves into when it comes to the mess, but not only the mess that they create, but the dust that comes off of their bodies. And it is a health hazard and can be quite a serious health hazard. Ever since I first got parrots, I've always had air purifiers throughout my home, and I personally think they're completely essential. I couldn't live without them, and since getting her, it's become even more important. I didn't have a clue how dusty African grey parrots really are, and it is another level. It's definitely something that people need to be considering if they're thinking about bringing one home, because it can be really dangerous for your health, your respiratory health. It's also dangerous for the bird itself. In the wild, when they're preening and looking after their feathers, the dust is disappearing and dissipating out into the atmosphere and the environment around them. It's not sitting on things around them. They're not constantly inhaling it like they are in captivity in homes. African greys are old world parrots. They come from really dry climates. African grey parrots and parrots like cockatoos have powdered down feathers, and these are feathers on the body that continuously disintegrate into dust. They never grow into proper feathers. And this dust gets out into the atmosphere, and it's like a talcum powder consistency. It's really, really fine, and you can't see it the majority of the time unless you put light behind the bird, and then it is so evident. It gets everywhere, it gets into the air, and it's so dangerous. And because I'm a mum, I've got children, I don't want them inhaling this dust continuously. I don't want to put them and their health at risk because of a decision that I've made to bring these animals into our lives. And so I do what I can to reduce the effects of the powder and the dust that comes off of all of the birds, but specifically Sammie. So just a little bit also on the difference between old world and new world parrots, because this is something that always confused me. Old world parrots like this come from the eastern hemisphere of the planet, places like Africa. And then you have new world parrots which come from the western side of the planet, and those are places like the Americas, South America. And the difference between the two is very, very obvious, especially when it comes to their feather quality and health and the way they look after themselves. New world parrots have an oil gland that releases oil, and they use that oil to preen and to look after their feathers. And old world parrots have dust feathers that produces dust, and they wipe that dust all over their bodies, and it does the same thing. It waterproofs their feathers, keeps their feathers in good condition, helps them fly, that sort of thing. So I think the main question for me is an air purifier essential if you've got parrots? And personally for me it is. I've got one in every room that the birds have access to. Sammie has one in here, which is her private room. She's got this room to herself. The birds have one in their room, the three macaws. There's one in the living room. They remove all of the dust, allergens and things from the air, and I recently got this Levoit Smart air purifier, which has been a complete game changer for us since getting this. I knew African greys were dusty. It's something that I'd always understood and been aware of, but I wasn't quite prepared for the level of dust. I mean, when I'm stroking her, I can see it all go into the atmosphere, but not only that, when she rests her head on my clothes, if I'm wearing black, she'll leave a white mask on my clothes, even if she just touches me for 1 second. Inhaling parrot dust continuously is really bad for your health. Also, inhaling fecal matter, dried fecal matter, is really, really dangerous for your health. And these are a couple of things that people really need to consider before they get a parrot, because I know people that have had to rehome their birds because they've been diagnosed with lifelong, life-limiting respiratory and lung diseases, all because they've owned and lived in an environment that's had parrots in it. So I think before getting one, you need to take that into consideration. But if you've got one, there are ways that you can limit the amount of dust that you're inhaling and bringing into your body. And I think air purifiers is a big part of that, but there are other things as well. So the Levoit Smart air purifier is made specifically for animal and pet owners. It's got a pet setting, which removes animal and pet debris, dust, hair, fur, and allergens from the air. It actually removes 99.97% of all airborne allergens, which is crazy. It's a really great size. It fits perfectly into most rooms. It covers a large area. And it's also really quiet. I can't hear it. I don't tend to be able to hear it. The one that I've got in Sammie's room, because she's quite scared and fearful of things, just like a typical African grey, it has a nighttime setting. So at night it still is working and still is pulling in stuff from the air, but it's completely silent. You can't hear a thing, because I didn't want it sort of turning on and getting stronger in the night out of the blue and scaring her and making her take flight and hurting herself. It's also all controllable via an app on my phone. So even when I'm out of the house, I can take a look, see what the air quality like is in her room, and I can increase the settings during the day if I want to, or decrease it, or even turn it off if I want to save some energy. So let's head over, let's unbox the air purifier, and I'm going to show you all about it. I'll show you what it looks like and the settings and how to set it up and stuff. So let's go. This is Sammie's room. I've left this on in her room for a week now. I'm just going to open it on camera for the first time and look at the inside of this. Sammie doesn't actually spend a lot of time in here. She's in the house most of the time. So this isn't a full-time bird in a room air purifier. So I'm really interested to see what it's like. Let's open it, shall we? So this is the air purifier. I'm going to open it for the first time in a week. You can already see all the top is covered in dust. Ooh, wow. Oh god, that's disgusting. So all of that is being sucked out of the air into this machine. Oh my god. That's crazy. tell right now that I've done that and changed that, the air quality in here is really poor. So I'm going to leave it running for a little while and then show you what the air quality is like after it's been running for a short while. And there we have it. The air quality is back down to being good, and it's actually gone all the way down now to perfect. So blue is where it doesn't detect anything in the atmosphere. It's very good. That took a total of 9 minutes to get the air in this room that was really bad when I opened that and all that dust exploded out. It took 9 minutes to get back down to a very good air quality. So I honestly couldn't live without these things. I, like I say, have them everywhere. I can't get by without them. So I really do highly recommend getting an air purifier if you have parrots, especially African greys, just to protect your respiratory health. Also, this is on auto, so this is the lowest setting at the moment and you can barely hear it, but the sleep setting is even quieter. I just want to show you how quiet that is. So this is on sleep mode at the moment and you just can't hear it. All of the lights on the top go off so that it doesn't disturb your sleep in the night, with lots of bright blinking lights everywhere, and it's completely silent. You can barely hear it. So in conclusion, our parrot's dusty, incredibly so, unbelievably so, and there are certain things you can do to help it. Air purifiers are just one of those things. The other ways you can help with the dust is lots of time outside where it's safe to do so. So where they're secure and restrained, either with a harness, or if you've got a cage that has wheels on it, pull it outside, or I've got a netted garden so they can spend time outside when they're not free flying. So there are different things you can do to make sure that they're getting outside and getting lots of air, so that when they preen, that dust is going off into the atmosphere, not into your home. But also showers. Showers are so important. I shower my birds once a week throughout the year, but in the summer when it's really hot, it can be anything from once to even twice a day where it's really hot, and I use that as a method to cool them down. Showers remove all of that dust, it softens the keratin so that when they start preening it's easier to come off and it doesn't turn into this super fine dust and go over it, sort of stays in these clumps. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, I really hope you learnt something from it. I'm gonna go and get my big guys out because they're getting upset because they can hear me talking, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!